reading the news episode number 112 in the chat. There's fucking nobody. Fantastic.
Oh. Hello, nobody.
Hello.
Hello, 0 people.
No, you're not getting my fucking hand. Fuck you.
Yeah, Chloe, get your own arm.
There. See, you didn't even eat it.
I didn't hear that.
Get your own arm. Well, if you didn't even give a chance to eat it.
I put it in
So I was
front of
assuming
her and then jumped off the chair and ran away.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm certain I just heard that wrong.
Serious stuff today because it's Sunday, but who wants serious stuff on a Sunday anyway? Yeah.
Enough serious stuff going on right now.
Someone tried so badly. A regional assembly in Kenya had to be suspended.
Oh no, that's a bad fart.
I'm not sure who to pin that on: Blind Girl, Green Thunder, or myself.
Green Thunder, because it's more fun and it's not me.
Things got heated at a meeting in Kenya, which had to be suspended after someone farted. OTC. The whole Town County Bay Assembly had to be interrupted on Wednesday when the foul smell took over the chamber. To make matters worse, it was 31 degrees outside, which only added to the suffocating atmosphere. Attendee Julius Gaya reportedly interrupted the speaker, saying, "Honourable Speaker, one of us has polluted the air, and I know who it is." But the alleged culprit rejected the accusation, saying, "I am not the one. I cannot do such thing in front of my colleagues."
Listen to that strong language. I would not do such a thing to my colleagues.
In a bid to clear the air, Assembly Speaker Edwin ordered everyone to clean the room and come back with some air fresheners to make it pleasant. You ought to get whatever you provide in the office, whether it's vanilla or strawberry. We cannot continue in an environment that smells bad.
Pussies.
Maybe he pooped himself.
Yeah, maybe it was Green Thunder then.
Like maybe he sharted.
Not this time.
Well, did anybody check his wife out? I mean, was she crying after that wedding dress?
Yes, she was crying after that wedding dress. I think, though, the tears came when the person had to sponge her down in a tub in a barn.
It's understood. It's the smell went away 10 minutes later, meaning there was no need for air fresheners. That's good then. Don't if you're gonna go to a meeting, hold your farts in. That's all I can say. We have 2 viewers. Huzzah. 2 whole viewers.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
It is Sunday.
All day.
Yep.
Yeah, Sunday doesn't usually do that bad though. What happened? Oh, fucking load.
You don't want to know, because I can't even explain what's going on in this Facebook post.
The purest of stupidity.
No, it's just, you know what? I will just send it to you on Facebook, Scotty, and you can determine why I just... What?
Checking it. Mohammed Salah, man charged with posting racist tweet about Liverpool star. Gary Highland, 32, from Waterloo, that rhymes, accused of racially aggravated public offence, public order offence. Man has been charged with posting a racist tweet about Liverpool footballer Mohammed Salah. Gary
What's
Highland,
the
32, was arrested.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
We probably are going to mention it.
Gary Highland, 32, was arrested on Thursday after Merseyside police launched a hate crime investigation. He has been charged of racially aggravated public offence offence and obstructing a constable in the execution of their duty. Highland of Church Road, Waterloo, expected to appear at Liverpool Magistrates Court on Friday. The offensive tweet, which features a mocked-up image of the Egyptian player, was posted on Wednesday. Because, offensive tweets are not crime.
Yeah.
You think in a country with a high crime, with high crime rates going up, they would care more about fucking stabbings and stuff, but no, a tweet would say, must be on the racist tweet, it's easier to deal with. This thing as well, they won't actually do something that what I like about these kind of articles that don't actually show you what was in the tweet.
I want to know if it was racist how they keep saying President Trump's tweets are racist when they're not actually racist.
Like, I would actually see the tweet for myself so I can determine whether it's racist or not. The trouble is, again, that's up to subjective things. So you can't.
I was just about to say, isn't it subjective though? Like, I mean,
yeah.
there is blatant racism out there. Don't get me wrong, but certain comments I feel like are subjective to it. I know that's hypocritical to say. I realize,
but I wouldn't want someone to get arrested for it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
I like the First Amendment.
Same.
It was shared by several other people before being removed from Twitter. Everton, Liverpool's main rivals, said they were. If you looked at their rival, the Merseyside rivals, not their main rivals, Man United, obviously, but said they were investigating whether the person responsible had links to the club's fan base. Everton condemns racism in the strongest terms. Everton condemns in the strongest terms any kind of racism. A club statement read. We're going to share the material with the appropriate authorities and are looking into the matter further. On the Wikipedia snippet.
I think there's only one club that actually loves racism, and they spell the word club wrong.
Yeah. And football clubs always going to say, like, oh, we love racism, are they?
No.
Yeah. That's not really very good enough publicity. Share the material with the appropriate authorities and are looking into the matter further to understand if the Twitter user in question is known to the club in any way. So again, we don't actually know what was in the fucking tweet, and even then, you shouldn't arrest somebody for
a tweet.
Yeah.
Don't you guys have better things to do? I mean,
no, their country's so bad that the cops are afraid to go out on the street.
Basically, don't have anything better to do. Otherwise, why would they be arresting people for tweets?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there could be real crime going out there. I mean, that's just. I can
understand if he was posting the guy's address that he was like threatening to kill him or something, then it's fair enough. But if you're just
yeah,
posting an image of him that can be construed as being offensive, then no.
But what is offensive to you is not offensive to me. That's the thing. And this is like a fine line, Yeah,
it's called St. Mafia is the fault. Yeah. He's having a piss on stream.
What?
He was having a piss on stream.
I
And
mean,
running water.
Mm.
oh, I don't know then because I'm just.
I opened my
sitting here
window.
and-
Is this the sound that you heard? That was me opening my window.
I don't know. Yeah,
And no, I'm not peeing out my window.
Yeah, don't piss out the window.
Yeah, please don't.
I feel like you'll probably get arrested if you do that.
I'm pretty sure. And
No,
as,
no, I was making it.
and as a woman, I don't
Right,
know about
officer.
the trajectory. Anyways, on to the news.
Illinois, fuck off, hard block.
Oh, are you kidding me with this?
Yeah, wait for it. Wait to delete it.
All right.
Come on. Illinois passes law making LGBT plus history lessons and skills compulsory in a move to stop bullying.
Ah, yes, our wonderful government-run schools. Where are they schools or are they indoctrination camps? We shall never know.
Indoctrination camp.
Have you met children? There's no way to stop bullying. They're pieces of shit.
Dude,
Yeah.
I experienced bullying like 24 years ago. Come on, it's been going on since whenever. Is it right? No. Should it be addressed? Absolutely. But is it a part of life? I think so, and it makes you stronger. I feel
Yeah.
like in the long run,
Yeah, in a way, like being bullied helps you deal with bullies.
right?
I mostly
Because
ignored it.
everybody knows bullies are just scared little pieces of shit. You call them out on their shit, and they quit it. Most of them. I mean,
either
unless you're in
ignored it
America and
or
they bring guns. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I did laugh at like how when people kept coming up to me like, "We heard you fucked your dog." I'm like, "How do you fuck a dog? What the crap?"
Hey, Skittles.
I feel like you screw a dog the way you screw anything else, just as a smaller hole.
Let's not get on Whitney, Wisconsin now.
Ew.
Here's the
Yeah.
Now
thing,
I
some
know. Now I
kids-
need Mr. N with the damn bell.
Anyways, on to the news.
I mean, some kids are just gonna bully either way, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. No matter what. You could have the coolest shoes ever, and somebody could be jealous of them, and they'll bully you for them. I mean, it comes from different areas, you know. I don't want to say it all stems from parents or anything like that, but
Oh, a good portion of it.
you're
does.
gonna get made fun of for anything and everything somebody can find. I mean, no matter how hard you try to fit in, there's always going to be something.
Illinois,
Yourself.
Illinois has passed a law meaning LGBTQ plus history must be taught in schools from next year onwards.
Oh lordy.
Democrat Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed legislation on Friday requiring state schools to teach the role and contributions of LGBT people in U.S. history.
Never
Can you just
mind
take that
that.
in U.S. history, then, couldn't you? Why does it
Never-
matter?
I'm sorry, Scotty, to interrupt, and this is the last time I will, but never mind that these kids are failing in math, sciences, reading, being held behind. There's 1,500 shootings in Chicago, but oh yeah, sure. Let's talk about LGBT plus Q history in schools. Like that's an
Yeah,
important
let's not
thing.
fix the
I'm
real
sorry.
problems.
That's the last I'll interrupt, Scotty. I'm very sorry about that.
Can you just teach U.S. history? Like, why does it matter if the person's gay or whatever? Like,
Right?
it shouldn't make any difference to their fucking contribution to history. Muslim students will be exempt, of course, I imagine so. You don't get to ding anyone green. The bill supporters argue the measure aims to curb LGBT bullying in schools by teaching students about historical significance of LGBT individuals in American society. Well, you could do that anyway. Just teach American history. I feel like why you have to specify that they're LGBT is pointless.
victim points.
And yet, American school systems don't teach anything about world geography or world history. Like, we are one of the last to know where anything is around the world or what happened around the world. Really, we are taught like sort of the summary of what happens. And most of it is, I feel like, either focused on WW2 or Vietnam. It's like more war focused. It's like never, I don't know. I feel like more countries overseas understand our history than we understand theirs.
Agreed.
I was going to kind of sense that like a lot of Americans are like doing stuff outside their own borders.
Thank you,
Shit, I
Pete.
can't even name 50.
I'm glad you
all 50
recognize it
states.
too.
Like, how many times have I had to correct an American on the UK, on the difference between the UK and
Correct.
England? How many times
Correct.
have I had to correct that?
You will see it all the time. I had one of my best friends, and I'm sorry not to like derail or anything like that. I had one of my best friends say, where is tsunami? I keep hearing about this tsunami place, you know, when that huge tsunami happened in Sri Lanka. And I looked at her, and I wish you guys could see my face. I was like, are you joking right now? A tsunami is not a place. Tsunami is something that happens, and where it happened was Sri Lanka. Fucking idiot. Excuse my French.
Saying that all I learned in school, from all I remember in history in school was World War II, a bit of Scottish history, a bit of that's about it, actually. World War II, Scottish history, and a bit of slavery. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I just said ding ding. I wish I had a dinger. Maybe mine should be meow, meow, meow.
The bullhorn, air horn.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that to you guys.
I just closed SoundPad. I'm not opening it a second time.
It's all
That's
good.
right. One girl, a Canadian school's the same, and they only teach like Canadian American stuff.
No, they teach other things, especially like the redcoats and stuff. My problem is I just didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
You're supposed to pay attention. No one told me
I
this.
didn't pay attention either. I just learned stuff myself.
No, I was just always really, really interested in history and the things I learned. I feel like up until high school, my school did a really, really good job, but it was very much American centric. Like, we were taught a lot about, you know, obviously slavery, and then, you know, the Trail of Tears with the Indians, and then, you know, Christopher Columbus and all that stuff. But we were never really quite taught world, you know, happenings and, you know, how America impacted things. And, you know, perhaps that's a part of the propaganda that schools have been giving us. You know, that's just a train of thought I have. Maybe it's a little too tinfoil hatty right now, but
Well,
I s-
Canada learns about Britain only because Canada and Britain's history are kind of tied together.
And the thing is, you don't even call it Britain either. You just call it England because, you know, fuck anyone else.
exactly.
That was me just because whenever we would talk about stuff, it always had to do with England and the Queen. So it was just Britain to me was more related to England history, and that's unfortunately the way things went. I never needed to care about the difference between Britain and England until I turned 33. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're still gonna get corrected on it every single time you do it wrong, by the way. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not
okay.
covered.
I still find it funny that I don't know if it's still taught that Christopher Columbus discovered America, even though he technically didn't set foot
Did
in
not.
It
Yes,
was the Vikings that done it first.
it was the Vikings.
And Christopher Columbus only was in Central America, never touched North America.
And just to like kind of go back to this article, I think it's actually really, I mean, astounding that this is something that is getting pushed into our school system when these kids are behind in math and everything. I mean, we like to think that America is like this great, wonderful place in which I'm so thankful to be an American. However, let's look at the statistics of where we are worldwide when it comes to education. And you want to push this stuff on us when we're behind in math, when we're behind in reading, when we're behind in a lot of things. It's
The problem is that no
Yeah,
child
I
very,
do a lot of research
very
because of
frustrating to me, to say the least.
on my own because I'm a huge history buff, and same here.
Yeah.
Not knowing the word tsunami means a large wave is almost honorable. No, it's not.
She
I learned
thought
that
it
when
was
I
country,
learned that
but
when I was
you
like 10.
snip it.
That's not honorable. You're a fucking retard.
That's not acceptable
I'm still blaming No Child Left
as a
Behind.
20-year-old.
Seriously, if they fail too many times, you just push them to the next grade anyway. That's a load of crap.
I feel
No,
I blame lazy parents.
I can actually, I have a personal testimony to that. My brother, he did Teach for America. He worked in a lot of inner city schools in DC, and No Child Left Behind was something that he was forced to do. He really he taught sixth grade, and he was astounded as to how many of them couldn't read. He taught a lot of them how to read. He made sure they read 20 minutes at a time in his classroom. And his whole frustration, he told me, he was, how am I supposed to teach these people about Europe when they can't even fucking point it on a map, when they can't even take textbooks home? And you want to push LGBT shit when they don't even have the funding to take textbooks home to study? They have to use the
They
same
have the
one.
internet. They have the internet, though, don't they? I mean,
They do, but some of them can't
there's
afford
really no
computers
fucking
or
excuse to be
internet.
retard
I
these
mean,
days.
we're talking about poor kids here. I mean, disenfranchised youth. I mean, you get their
even the poorest
computers at
people,
school, but not at home.
even some of the poorest people in first world countries have access to the internet.
Well, God knows what they're taught at home too, in some of these households.
Nothing, probably.
I'm sorry. I'll stop going on the tangent. Go ahead, please.
And the piece of legislation requires all schools in the state to include the roles and contributions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans people in the history of this country and this state in official textbook. The state's board of education is obliged to publish a list of textbooks authorized for purchase under the law annually.
All I know is Elton John was a pretty okay dude.
He's still alive.
Oh, then is a pretty okay dude. How is that dude still alive? He's like 100.
He's not. He's like 70 or something. Anyway,
He's still old as shit.
I think that law's a good thing though. But at the same time, how many parents are actually going to buy them and actually read them? Not many. And I don't. There's probably a very, very, very small amount of parents that would actually buy the textbooks and see what's in them.
I doubt they even have a choice in some of these places now. Well, obviously now they don't, according to Illinois.
No. It says that they're required to give the list of textbooks that a kid learns like per year. So I'm saying that's a good law, but how many parents actually buy them? Not very much, I assume.
I imagine a lot of parents are going to have to sit down and have a lot of conversation with their children about this subject, and it's going to really juxtapose with what the schools are going to be teaching them. It's going to be a real mind poop for some of these children.
He's in his 60s, apparently, Elton John. Each public school district and state-recognized non-public schools shall be subject to appropriations for that purpose. Receive a per pupil grant for the purchase of secular, non-discriminating textbooks, says the text of the legislation. It comes after a 2017 study by DLSCN, a US-based organization working on ending discrimination, harassment, and bullying. Critics is saying, I assume that means check on that one then. Fucking Lord, will you? Oh, he's 72, so that was right. He's in his, that's not that old. 72 is not ancient.
Yeah, it's not ancient, but he looks, for some reason to me, he looks way older than he is.
See, in some cases, he looks younger, I feel like.
He'll be happy.
He actually looked pretty good in a movie he was in a couple years ago. It was one of the
if I can live
Kingsman
to
Secret
72, I'll be
Service
happy.
movies.
Hey, come on, Lord, will you? I haven't slow internet. Thank you, Cryptic, for the £5. I don't know this tune, but I'm just going to sing it anyway and try and guess. Ghetto superstar, that is what you are. Coming from afar, reaching for the stars. Run away with me to another place. We can rely on each other. From one corner to another.
Oh,
Thank you, Cryptic, for the £5.
yay. That was
That
awesome.
sounds like it's some Katy Perry song.
It's not.
No, it's like the 90s, man.
Yeah, it's a 90s song.
For a minute, I
I've
thought
never
you were
heard it.
reading a news story, and then I started noticing something was quite different about it, and I was like, wait a minute, you're singing. I didn't realize
Yeah,
the
Cryptic
whole
pays to sing.
Phew, over my head for a minute.
Cryptic is the best. I love when he pays Scotsman to sing.
Sexual orientation and gender identity. It comes out of the 2017 study by GLA. CN, a US-based education organization, comes nation working to end discrimination, harassment, and bullying based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Found 61% of LGBT students in Illinois face verbal harassment based on gender expression. How many people were surveyed? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's a good question. How many people were surveyed? Where were they surveyed?
What
What were
question
their
were they asked?
political affiliations? I mean,
What question were they asked?
exactly. I don't trust any of this stuff anymore. Sometimes, well, most times. Go ahead.
Hello, anyone say yes? I'm back. I had a mini hiatus because I had a few things I needed to get sorted out, and they've been sorted now. So yeah, I'm back. What's the total number of LGBT students anyway? Like 10, yeah. That's the point. And what question were they asked and stuff as well?
No, actually, it's just half of one student is thoroughly gay. His left half.
So they're bisexual, basically, if they're half gay.
That would be funny to see someone come in like they're half wearing a super gay outfit, and then the other half is just wearing a normal straight out like.
It's not quite like that, but I have heard of the 72 genders. There's one that's called like a demi girl or a demi boy, and it's like you're half. I don't think you wear half and half, like, you know.
And
Have you looked into other Ken? Seriously.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I heard about other 10 years ago. Yeah.
If you're half girl, half boy, you're a goddamn circus freak show like they had back in the fucking 1930s.
This bill has a section that
Just
allows the
saying.
department to implement rules as necessary for the law to be enacted to ensure the religious neutrality of all the textbooks. Block grant program. Well, I assume if it's going to be all that LGBT stuff, then Muslims are gone, aren't they?
You know, go ahead, please.
Because the guys that have Muslims, can they? It's LGBT.
Where this strikes like the worst and the hardest is in the medical community, because now doctors are being targeted for saying you are a biological male, you are a biological female. This is how we have to distinguish you, you know, in order to give you the proper medical care. So now we're kind of stuck in this weird, like, I don't know, alternate universe where we're not allowed to say this, where
I've seen stupid on Twitter go, there is no such thing as a biological gender.
Yeah.
that is
Yeah, bring back circus freak shows. Yeah, I mean, they do that, actually. It means they would have a fucking job. Finally.
Dude, yeah. Circus freak show. I would
I don't know.
totally
Are y'all willing to bite the head off a chicken?
Yes.
Depends how much they pay me.
You're in a
Such a
circus.
Scottish
depends on how
answer.
hungry I am, Chucker. It depends on how hungry I am, because hunger will do anything to anyone.
You might do it for 1,000.
Well, I guess, yeah, and monetary. Like, I mean, everybody's viable, I guess.
I'm not doing it for free.
You kid, if old Foghorn Leghorn there's already cooked, I'll bite his ass off for free. Jeez.
Look at you.
Come on, y'all. Let's get serious here. That's free food.
Dude, I'd so
I
totally
say- I
bite
say-
the head off a chicken and then cook that bitch up.
Yeah,
I'll cook it
do you also
first.
get to keep the chicken afterwards? Like, so I can have it for tea or something. Just have it for dinner.
I don't know, but that was one of those big things back on the circus freak show days. Is it has some dude who'd always bite the head off a chicken, and a bearded woman, and some
May I
dumbass
ask
who stood his stupid ass in front of a cannon and shit.
You
Scotty,
have like some really fat guy who these days wouldn't even be considered that fat.
Scotty, may I ask a question
Yeah.
about the article? By the way,
Right.
when it says LGBT plus, now that Green Thunder has brought this up, are they including other kin, and are they including
I don't
like
know.
this other stuff that people
I
are
don't know.
identifying as? Like,
I lost
Whenever-
count after three, to be honest. I'm after the idea of knowing what the letters mean after that.
Nowadays, whenever they say plus
Start out
in
random
any of that
letters,
stuff,
whatever.
So, are they
No.
pro or against pedophiles being part of the LGBT? That is the real question.
well, maps have not yet been included, and I think most people who do identify genuinely as lesbian or gay or bisexual are really against that, and trans. I think most reasonable people are against that.
Most people, like,
This is like a whole different, I guess, topic. I don't know. This is like a whole different rabbit hole to get into.
I know Twitter is pro map as hell.
Yeah, they are. That's why they haven't banned any of them.
Well,
yet.
they push a lot of agendas that they shouldn't, and we all know that their fucking trending shit is like what they want us to see. So that's no secret anymore.
Come on, all gays are pedos. Go say Mafia. I'm going to disavow you on that one.
Yeah, I'm going
Not
to disavow
true.
that.
Not, I don't think that's quite true.
Is she going off about the Jews again?
What was that?
Did you just say disavow Math Queen?
No, it's a disavow Goal City Mafia.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are they doing Jew stuff again? Because that would have been.
Oh Lord!
No, because he's saying that all gays are pedophiles. So I'm
Well-
disavowing him.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't
I think that's
necessarily.
100% legit, but a high percentage of them can be.
Yeah, but a high percentage of anything can be. A high percentage of men are pedophiles. A high percentage of women are pedophiles. A high percentage of
Wait a minute, that's not
like genes are pedophiles. That's it.
say a high percentage of men are pedophiles and a high percentage of female are pedophiles. Like both of those cannot be true at the same time.
Yeah.
Have
If
you
you're
seen Teachers?
If you're comparing the probability of the highest amount of pedophiles within a specific group, you can't say all the groups have the highest amount of pedophiles because you're trying to
It's like saying, like,
where there is the perfect place to breed pedophilia activity.
I'm saying like being gay has nothing to do with being pedophiles. It's like saying
No,
there's
but
high percentage of pedophiles that like bees, for example. Like, it doesn't make any
studies have
sense.
shown that there are a higher percentage of pedophiles within the gayer community than, say, with the lesbian community or with the bisexual community.
All teachers are pedophiles. Just some of them are better at controlling themselves. I'm going to say that. Sort of joking.
The trending food isn't even. It's not even trending. Like a lot of it's stuff that was paid to trend, and then also is.
Oh yeah, like they deleted Clinton body count. I know. I heard from on Monkey in the Morning. Freaking all of a sudden Trump's body count started trending. I'm like, Trump killed people?
And I assume they count like mass shootings and stuff in that as well. They probably do.
No,
back to the
no,
article.
they're actually using the whole Clinton body count versus Trump body count to sit and say, well, if when Clinton was president, if all these people dying were the Clintons' fault, this means this is Trump's fault.
No, we're just saying the people that tap themselves twice in the back of the head to commit suicide is Clinton's fault.
See, that whole tap yourself in the back of the head, I mean, that's not even the most unbelievable one. How about the person who shot himself 8 times with a 6-shot gun? Or the guy who shot himself, rolled himself up in a blanket and dumped himself in a park 15 miles away from where he shot himself?
The whole double that would be as believable as most of the shotguns around here are break action single shots. There is no way to double tap yourself with that thing easily.
So yeah, anyway, fuck the LGBT and stop trying to put your bullshit on the kids. Yeah. Trump body count was shoved into trending, and the only state being is California because, of course, it is. I googled Clinton body count, and Google sent me Trump body count again. That's not a surprise. Not surprising at all. Really, I'm not surprised.
You know, it'd be shocking one day if Google decides to stop fucking with the analytics and actually just show people what's really going on.
That's what DuckDuckGo is for.
Mm-hmm.
They don't fuck with their analytics. And they don't track you either. At least they say they don't track you.
I mostly use search engines for porn anyway. If they want to track me, go ahead.
Things over here, you can't even look up porn on Google anymore.
I find that offensive. That is genuinely offensive. Damn
Have to use
assholes.
DuckDuckGo to watch porn now. It's rather annoying, to be honest.
I am indifferent about whether you can search up porn or not. I personally don't care.
I think it's only a matter of time before Google shuts Thunder down and sends them a message saying you are one sick puppy.
Yeah, you're probably on several watch lists and stuff. Anyway, yeah, one guy, I can't imagine blind people care about porn.
It's not that I care about porn. It's just I'm undecided about whether it's a blight on humanity or a good thing.
I personally don't really care. I personally just, sometimes I need a wank.
I have seen some shit that is definitely a blight on humanity.
Because I know you don't care about me watching it, so I'll just watch it anyway. But
No, I don't care about you watching it, but whether I am sided with we should all be free to watch porn, or if I'm like, you know what, if like I realize that everybody should have the freedom to watch porn, but if somebody's whining and saying, Google won't search porn, I'm like, so? Like, that's probably a good thing. It's probably good for you. I think porn gives children access to gross shit at young ages on the internet, so
Yeah, it does.
if it's harder to get at porn, I kind of celebrate it.
yeah, but then you get into the whole porn license debate and stuff where I disagree with it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think like it's too easy to access to kids, and therefore,
I mean, that's why you use web fillers and stuff.
just like, yeah, it sucks to be you, but I'm kind of happy about it.
But then you use like that's why you have web fillers. That's why there's web fillers and stuff where you can prevent your kid from accessing stuff you don't want them to.
Yeah, that's fine, and I think Google making it harder to search it is a good thing as well.
Yeah, it's not even like it's harder to search; it just doesn't come up. Yeah, so you use parental blocks and web fillers. Yeah, no, if a parent's that concerned, that's what they should do. It's not the government's job.
Okay, I actually kind of agree with Honey Monster there.
Google is not the government. Google is their own platform. So, like, if they want to block porn from their search engines, they have the right to do so, and I'm okay with this.
Okay, so Google can block anything absolutely pro-Trump now.
Unfortunately, that also means that.
Yeah.
But don't they already do that?
Probably.
Yeah, but I was just checking for consistency.
Yeah, well, they already do that. I mean, at one point in my life, I would have said, no, that's bad. But now I'm like, you know what? Google's not the only search engine out there. So, you know what? I'll go somewhere else.
Google.
It's in this because my parents since then, I guess that's probably why.
I miss web crawler.
Mainly because I've been talking to Trucker too much.
Whatever happened to Ask Jeeves? I know it turned into like just Ask, but is it even used anymore?
Ask.com
Jeeves
still
didn't-
exists, I think.
I don't think Ask Jeeves even exists anymore.
Yeah, they
Ask.com
changed it to
still
just
exists.
Ask.
Skill says Google is publicly funded. They get millions in grants. It's illegal for them to do that. A blind girl.
Okay. Just because you get a government grant doesn't mean you have to do what the government wants you to do.
When I was a kid, the most audacious thing I saw was Page Three in this. Yeah, Page Three doesn't exist anymore because fucking feminists complained about it.
Wait, why is it illegal? Isn't Google a private company?
Well,
Yeah,
if
but
they're getting government grants, they're not really.
Yeah, they're not a private company if they're getting government funding.
Well, just because the government funds it doesn't mean anything.
Well,
Just
to be fair, Google. Yes, Google gets government money. Plus, they are publicly traded on the stock market. So technically, they're not a private company. Unfortunately, once you get anything beyond that, it actually gets into trust and antitrust laws. And considering Ted Cruz and Elizabeth Warren and AOC are actually getting ready to gear up towards them, I'm just waiting to see what happens on that.
Yeah, the company is publicly funded. They're not a private company. That's literally the definition of a public entity. Yeah.
Actually, that would be the difference between publicly privately funded and publicly or privately managed.
They're corporatists. They're not private, really. Anyway.
Well, once they're publicly traded, they're not fully private anymore. But
Anyway,
it also depends. It also depends on the stipulation of each grant, how it was given. If the grant was saying we will give you this money if you ... and they don't do that, then there's problems as well. So unfortunately, it's not absolutely black and white.
Milka Casting Company sorry for ad banning overweight girls and redheads. The agency has since apologized, saying it failed to meet its own standards and it's to carry out a full review. The casting company has apologized for after allowing an advert for the role which banned ginger and obese children on this website. I can understand the fat kids.
Oh, fuck you and the gingers, people. Who is this company?
Why are people after the gingers?
Milka.
Oh, they barely exist in the US.
I can understand the fat kid, because if you're like a chocolate company, you're getting advertised by a fat kid, that's not good advertising. But a ginger, I mean,
well, unless it's an advertisement for diabetes supplies, and then it might be a legit one.
Or like a weight loss thing, yeah. But I feel like a fat kid advertising chocolate isn't good for your company.
Unless, the reason why they're fat is because the chocolate is really good, then it's perfect.
No, because this chocolate makes you fat.
Seriously, why does everyone have a plug up their ass about redheads all of a sudden?
Yeah, just for that, I'm actually tempted to stop and get a Hershey bar.
Spotlight UK allowed a casting call for Milka, a Swedish chocolate company, to go on its website, appealing for a prepubescent girl who is not overweight and does not have red hair. It specified they wanted.
So Jeffrey Epstein's pool of actors. Sorry.
They said they wanted no children over 5'4", no overweight children, and must not have reached puberty. And she must be beautiful and angelic. Casting call for the chocolate bar Christmas advert also said she can be aged between 9 and 12. If she is 12, she must be very small and still be childlike.
12-year-olds are children. Yeah, weirdos.
They want prepubescent children.
Yeah, but it said childlike.
Right, but they don't. That's the thing. They want somebody. They want somebody who acts like that whole innocent child thing. Not some 12-year-old who shows up with like B cups or something. Because puberty's in the middle of smacking her across the face hard.
Like sometimes 12-year-olds can still be like that, but they can also be like pretty much like a teenager as well. So it's kind of a
Right. That's why they're specifying what type of 12-year-old.
yeah.
They want that innocent youth look.
They auditioning for the Jimmy Savile casting agency. Geez, yeah, that kind of I did get that kind of vibe. The average sparked outrage on social media with performer Helen Raw and celebrities including Kathy Burke and Baroness Tanny Gray Thompson criticizing it. Kathy Burke said, "Imagine being the kids that don't get the job. You're just not beautiful enough. I'm afraid, my darling. You must now you pop and be riddled with insecurities for the rest of your life." Oh well. They're probably still better looking than you are.
Agreed.
In a statement posted online, the company has said the casting call had been totally unacceptable. It said on Thursday one of its casting directors who used Spotlight platform published a casting call or a breakdown, as they're known in shade on a platform which absolutely does not meet our high standards, but nevertheless slipped through the net. When attention was drawn to this, we were slow to take action, and even then, steps we initially took fell short of what was expected of us by Spotlight members, casting directors on our own team. I think the rest is just general corporate shit. If they're sorry, basically that's what it is. Just, they're so very, very sorry, and you must know about it. Here's the way, isn't it? So I can understand the fat kids one, but ginger kids, I don't really know. That seems a bit stupid to me. See. You know, Sunday's always fucking slow news day, though, isn't it? Please like, share, and subscribe. Okay. And there we go. Right. Relentless stalker jailed after sending women 520 messages in 5 days. Jeez. A persistent stalker has sent more than 500 messages to a verified victim in 5 days. In 5 days, had finally been jailed. It's yeah. I mean, this is a fucking new level of desperation. This. I mean, there comes a point where it's like, just give up, man.
I mean, the first like 98 didn't give you a clue, 520.
I usually give up after like 2 or 3.
I wonder how many of those 520 were dick pics, so honestly. It says aggressive and sexually explicit. Poor woman.
After about 2 or 3, I give up. I'm like, you know what, that's enough.
Right? Mr. Oh, I'm sorry, I just muted myself. Mr. Misanthropic says that's over 100 a day. That's some dedication.
Andrew Costa, free man. Well, he's not a free man anymore. 24, mate. The woman aged in her 20s in 2015, but she later told him to stop contacting her. He ignored this and carried on messaging her in March this year. He was served with a harassment warning. Just a week later, he contacted her to say, the only dick pics I send are on a Dick Van Dyke as a joke. Known as inquired on messaging, and in March this year, he was served with harassment warning. Just a week later, he contacted her to say he would ignore the order and continue to harass her with Facebook Messenger. Because why didn't you just block him?
You know, I
Alternate
think
accounts.
if you're blocked on Facebook, I have noticed I've blocked some people, yet somehow their messages still can get through. Like I can still see them trying to message me. Or sometimes I had one person link my family in like a group chat, and that way they were able to link me somehow. It was actually pretty scary. So I don't know if there's like loopholes that people know about, but
There is loopholes if you're in a group DM.
mm,
One girl blocked me the other day. I could still message her via the group DM, just not message her directly.
mm.
So yeah. He was arrested, charged with stalking, and given a restraining order not to contact her. Which is 3 weeks later, he bombarded her with 520 aggressively, sexually explicit messages in the space of 5 days. He relentlessly set up multiple accounts to stop her blocking him. Oh yeah, my crazy ex still occasionally messages me despite me blocking her. How come I couldn't message blocking her when she blocked me then? That's weird.
What do you mean?
What I'm saying is because it said the people saying they can still message people when you're blocked, but I couldn't message you when you blocked me.
Technically, you could.
No, it wouldn't let me.
Yeah, it did to let you in Blind Trucking, which is a group that I started.
Right, but the the block the thing is create if you have separate accounts. If you have separate accounts and you just link the two accounts together, and make a group message with the two yourselves and then the person, you can still do it.
Because I tried to like separate it so Scotty couldn't see what I was doing in Blind Trucking, and it wasn't able to do so. So it's a loop. It is a loophole.
Yeah, it's kind of a loophole. I wasn't saying anything bad anyway. I was just
No, I'm just saying like there are loopholes that you can block people, and there's still loopholes.
yeah, that's what I was saying as well. Like I could still message you via the group DM.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wasn't saying anything bad. Just I have no idea how she's managed to do. All I know is she gets messages. I still get messages. I don't know if she has multiple identical accounts or what. Maybe.
All I know is pro tip out there, if they don't respond like after the first like I don't know 53, maybe it's just like time to just give it up. Especially if you're blocked and you have to go like through loopholes. I mean, I know some people don't think like that, but that should be a clue in case like you don't get it.
I just say a rule no more than like 3 or 4.
Yeah. I didn't mean you. I meant other people who have this sort of thing going on where they have to, like stalkers and whatnot.
Like I said, I won't send any more than 3 or 4. If I don't reply after that, they're clearly not interested, so just move on.
Right. You would think, but some people don't get that. And then some people get all weird and, you get all those stalkers with newscasters that think that they're like sending symbols and stuff like that through like the news. I mean, I don't know. People are weird.
She doesn't answer after the first message, so they move on. Depends though. Maybe I just don't give up that easily. I don't know. Also, female of Lonsdale Avenue, Newham, East London, was rearrested in jail for 2 years after admitting stalking, invoking serious harm or distress, and breaching a restraining order. I figured, if it was that bad for the girl, why didn't you just delete Facebook altogether?
But why should she have to delete her Facebook because this crazy asshole is doing this to her? Something should be done about the dude, not her Facebook. You know?
I would have done. I would have just deleted Facebook and just thought, fuck
No,
this.
I mean, me personally, I would have as well, but I don't feel like she should have.
I wouldn't have. I mean, I have family that I gotta share
Exactly.
and stuff to. Like, I'm not gonna delete my Facebook because of one dick. They should
And
take
exactly, and that would be giving in to like sort of what he wants, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I
like, that would be giving fucking someone harassing you a free goddamn pass.
exactly.
If I
And
harass
that's
you
why,
enough, you're gonna get off Facebook, which is what I want. It's like, no, I should not have to delete my account because
because you are crazy. Exactly. Something should be done about the person.
I just said I value my Facebook account because it's how I send grandma and great grandma videos of my kid. So I'm not gonna lose that connection with family that aren't in the same city as me because of one fuckface.
Sorry.
Taking account to private. That's what I did after my. That's what I did to my Facebook to private after said crazy acts.
Honey Munster says he should have stopped at 500. It's a nice round number.
I don't know what the fuck he expected to gain from this.
You know, with crazy people, they don't expect to gain anything, and that's why they keep doing this. I mean, I don't know. I've never stepped in that person's shoes. I'm just observing, and from what I read, you know what I mean?
And the case was brought to court after following rigorous investigation led by officers attached to Stalking Threat Assessment Centre. PC Lindsay Monk said Costa Freedom's behaviour had a profound effect on the victim's day-to-day life. After he was convicted on the first occasion, the victim felt that she would get her life back, but this is not the case. Hello, Mandy.
Hey, Mandy.
Mandy.
As Costa Freedom's pursuit of her continued and intensified, causing the victim more distress. STAG, part of the multi-agency stalking intervention program, STAG was opened in September 2018. Met officers worked alongside health professionals from Barnet, Enfield, Hagenley Mental Health, NHS Trusts, and the National Prohibition Service and the Susie Lamplough Trust, which manages the NASIP project and provides specialist advocacy and support for victims of stalking. Yeah, Mandy wants to see Agent Penis. Go see those. Go see those.
I know. I just saw that. I was like,
Yeah, Agent Penis hasn't been around here for a while, actually. He must be busy.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
He's forgotten his password, probably.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, some say they've never seen him and Green Thunder in the same room together.
Kind of like Batman.
Yeah.
And his penis are two separate entities.
Yeah, his penis fell off years ago. He just likes to keep it around.
Well, he was probably grossed out at all the shit that he was thinking about humping.
Detective Inspector Lee Bernard said Costa Freedom's behavior was indicative of a stalker seeking intimacy, blindly pursuing a relationship, and being spurred on rather than being deterred by his rejections. This is another example of how devastating an impact stalking has on the lives of those targeted. It is an unwarranted intrusion, and victims are left to feel vulnerable, distressed, and threatened. Victims of these offences sometimes feel like they have no control of the situation and often don't know where to turn to seek help.
I would feel helpless. I mean, if
I think
nobody
I
was.
would mute it off or something. I think that's what I would do. Maybe just make another Facebook account or something. I just ate lukewarm groceries to see the waiting begins. They're waiting for the forest to begin in the shit, I guess. I don't see the point. Sushi's supposed to be cold, isn't it?
No,
What it was.
no.
I never actually had sushi.
Freshly made sushi is room temperature warm. Sometimes it's even a little hot.
I always thought it was supposed to be cold.
No,
Yeah, I've never actually had it. Is that weird? I've
It's
never had
not
sushi.
it's edible.
I'm not the biggest fan of fish anywhere, but I feel like fish wrapped around seaweed. Not much in about. The man takes all fucking allegations very seriously. The sooner we know, the sooner we can actually deal with it. Perpetrate and provide the necessary support to those who are affected. Sushi is the shit.
Yeah,
You said it was okay earlier. Now it's great.
it's okay, but I mean, it's just, so there's a pun in that. You got what's called sushi farts. So it was a play on words for anybody that actually eats sushi knows later on it is the shit.
Well, that's why she's saying the waiting begins.
Yeah.
That's just what happens when you don't eat anything you're used to, really.
Mm-hmm. Although I'm used to eating sushi, I still get the sushi shrimp farts. It's
Yeah, you guys were joking, right? You're still a thing. Yeah, we're back together again. I think. Are we?
yeah.
Good. Okay. So yeah, man, it was all just a dream. The last few days were all just a dream. It never happened.
Oh, what happened?
I'm just taking the piss.
I'm over.
Yeah, an Asian penis is here. So, yeah. Anyway, talk amongst yourselves and mulling a fog.
Yaniv just sent a death threat to Rebel Media.
That's not a surprise.
Was that before or after he threatened to tase somebody?
After, this is new. He goes, they, at the Rebel News Online, are lucky they are still walking with all limbs intact. Don't trespass on my properties, break into my buildings, and don't wait outside my doors and then harass me.
Oh, Green Phone was backstage in LA, man.
So yeah. Yaniv is now like threatening assault on Rebel. It's hilarious.
Skittle says, I'm charging you both for marriage counseling this time.
This man is insane. If you watch the debate, you could clearly tell he was on some sort of antipsychotic medication, because if you could tell, he was nodding out throughout the conversation. Either that or he was on some sort of drugs. Clearly taking advantage of the Canadian protected class laws. I mean, clearly.
Did a conversation where they're like, why do you ride a scooter? And she goes, because I can't feel anything below my waist. And then there's a clip of her standing up in the elevator, her standing up from New York Fries, from her getting out of her scooter and standing when she needs to. And they're like, yeah, can't feel your legs, huh?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Thing is, isn't she still taking people to the Human Rights Tribunal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one is New York Fries.
Fucking give up. I remember hearing about that. Like, I'm going to put exit out on that one.
She really pissed because I don't think he's really trans. He really pisses me off.
Well, what's interesting is it's brought on. This is actually could be a good thing because it's brought on the conservatives. No, the conservatives for once are actually doing hashtag abolish human rights tribunals.
Because
Because everybody should be equal under the law and have the same laws and rights for everyone. And the Human Rights Tribunal is tacking on special laws for special people. So it's actually finally bringing to the table we should abolish the Human Rights Tribunal because now not everybody is equal under the same laws.
Who would have thought that we had two judiciary systems?
We knew that anyway.
Hmm?
We knew people weren't equal under the law anyway. I mean, they should be, but they're not.
Yeah, but Human Rights Tribunal makes extra laws for only certain people. And we're now seeing why that should not be happening. This is a consequence of that.
Yeah, no group of people should be given special treatment under the law.
No.
Anyway, hopefully the Americans are still around because I've got an article about guns.
All right.
Gunsplaining fanatics have weird weaponry fantasies only they understand.
Gunsplaining. That's a new one.
Yeah, gunsplaining.
I wonder who coined that term first.
It was John Niven.
Are you sure he's the one that coined it or just taking it? I mean, my bets are on either a feminist or a Democrat. But the splaining thing sounds like a feminist thing to do.
Yeah, but he's probably a cock. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not so sure. I'm not so irked about the gunsplaining word. It's actually the fact that they're calling it a fetish.
yeah, fuck off, Daily Record. I agree.
I mean,
Yeah, I
some
can-
people do have a gun fetish.
Hmm.
Like, gun fetishes exist. They're just painting everybody that loves their guns with that brush.
Yeah, we've all spent a couple of weeks arguing with an American gun lunatic, haven't we? Or is it just me? Man, I've got that stuff out.
That sentence could have been shorter if they said we've all had we've all spent time arguing with an American, not the gun fanatic, but just American.
Yeah.
Oh,
My true argument was with a madman calling himself proud to be an American. They put yep in brackets. Started a couple of weeks ago. Like a lot of these things, it began with me insulting a Trump supporter and getting into various rows with the people who came out to defend them. Brackets again. I haven't really cut this stuff out. I noticed the Proud Americans profile picture was a massive machine gun sitting on top of an American flag. Democrat. I'm not a gun lunatic, I'm just a Second Amendment absolutist. He was based in Texas, so naturally, fairly quickly, the talk turned to gun control. Needless to say, our Proud American thought the only problem is in the US was there wasn't enough guns, and that people didn't carry them all everywhere all the time. He thought that the most dangerous places in America were gun-free zones because they stopped ordinary citizens from carrying weapons because they didn't stop criminals because they would do whatever they liked.
I'm waiting to hear something that he's wrong on.
So am I, and I can't find that thing.
So the argument went on for over a week, with other people joining in until the 3rd of August when the El Paso and Dayton shootings happened within 24 hours of each other.
And a gun-free zone.
What do you know? What do you know? I bet you they're going to sit there and say, "Oh, the El Paso was one of Trump's people." Fine, take
Well,
ownership.
the gun
of your
was
boy.
obtained illegally. Yeah, this gun probably considers a warm pistol as a machine gun. 92% of shootings occur in gun-free zones.
Yep.
Super soakers don't make people wet. People make people wet. Yes, exactly.
The super soaker is just a tool that makes people wet. I like tools.
Is a super soaker even still a thing?
Yes.
I think you can still buy them.
Yes. My son taught my wife that super soakers was still a thing 2 weeks ago.
Ha.
Daddy facilitated it, but
Anthony Boyle, didn't you say you were going to buy Jack one?
I have I got him a little mini one. It's not a super soaker, but it's a water gun. But he can't use it, so essentially I have to soak him.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
we're just gonna teach him how to use it, I guess.
my little boy's super soaker daddy had to fill it, pump it, and hold it while little boy just pulled the trigger.
Yeah, but he's 2, so that's
Yeah.
when he's older, he'll learn how to use it. Mm-hmm. I assume you're just teaching him how to use the water pistol there.
What?
I'm saying I assume you're teaching him how to use the water pistol.
Well, I
Kinda,
mean,
sorta.
I sure, yeah.
Spray balls are good discipline for cats. You could say Super Soaker is a watershed moment.
Ha ha ha.
Come on, Cryptic, your puns are better than that. And the El Paso shooting, of course, happened in Texas, where a proud American lived. A state where some of the most relaxed gun laws in the U.S. and is far from a gun-free zone. Sure, this would make proud American realize the error of his ways. This would surely make him see more guns were not the answer, not a bit. My bumhole isn't brown; it just makes stuff brown. Thank you for sharing that, Mandy.
All right, small problem with the El Paso shooting. This Walmart was in a mall. There are very few malls in the U.S. that are not gun-free zones. Chances are this one was a gun-free zone. Therefore, all those relaxed gun laws are now null and void because the owner of private property says no guns on his property.
Me personally, I'm fine with people having guns on my property. I just expect them to please bring me a little bit of the meat that they can catch.
Deal. Deal. I keep the deer, you get the possums.
And does roadkill you find at the side of the road count?
You're not really catching that, are you?
Does it count though?
No, because you've got to make sure the roadkill is fresh if you actually pick up roadkill. As in, most likely you're the one who hit it.
Well, I mean, it looks alright. It was once again in a gun-free zone. Fucking Christ, these morons are infuriating. Teacher, this classroom is a gun-free zone. All Walmarts are fun-free zones. Oh, and on the argument went I'll give you a sample exchange here. I mean, how the argument went. Me, you don't care. A couple were murdered defending their baby. Proud American is tragic, I feel, for their suffering. But it's a no to any gun control. That's the problem. What more laws would have stopped the cycle from avoiding security and committing murder? Criminals ignore laws. Exactly. Here's the thing: is look at somewhere like London, where it's like pretty much you can't buy a gun. People will use other things. If you can pretty much make fucking anything into a weapon if you want to, if you try hard enough.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like anything can become a weapon. So he's going to ban it, and he's going to ban anything that can maybe be made into a weapon.
Pretty sure I can smack the shit out of someone with a wiffle ball bat.
Why do they have weapons like an AK-47? Again, what law would have stopped this? Not being able to buy an AK-47? I'm still avoiding the argument.
He didn't have an AK-47. He had from what I've heard about him, he had what everybody is calling an AK-47 style, which means scary looking gun.
Oh yeah,
That's
there. Wikipedia snippet. There are definitely some dildos you can buy that can kill someone.
Like I said, you can make a weapon out pretty much fucking anything. Try hard enough.
You can go down
we're
to
still
your
avoiding-
sink, grab the plumbing out of it, and make a weapon out of it. A gun, actually.
We're still avoiding the argument that the man did everything illegal, did everything illegal possible. Why are we blaming the tool and not the monster? They don't have guns in the UK, so they kill with knives and acid attacks. More people are killed with fists and feet than rifles. Evil will do evil. Exactly.
Hmm.
You might want to double check British knife and acid. Their stats against our gun stats against our gun stats. You might want to check our British knife crime and acid attacks against our gun death stats again. Why did he have an AK-47?
He didn't.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, his whole fucking argument was that he was using that people use other stuff to kill people instead of guns. So you're saying, oh well, there's more deaths from knives and acid attacks than there are guns? Doesn't make any fucking sense at all. That's not a fucking argument.
You know what? Let
Seriously.
me do this.
I'm going to say this once again. I've never understood why people are afraid of a hunk of metal.
I may drop out. If I do, I'll be back.
It wasn't an AK, by the way. It was a WSR-10, a semi-automatic rifle that looks like an AK that does not perform like one. Also made in Romania, not Russia, not an AK. What does that even mean? Is it better for your family to? Is it better that your family are killed by one of those?
Do you want to be killed by the real thing or some knockoff?
Again, I'm sorry for the loss, but facts matter. Why does America have more gun deaths than any other developed country?
Because we have more assholes.
2/3 of those are suicides. Also, while legal gun ownership has risen over the years, the murder rate has declined. Seems like a good trend. I say that an armed society is a fucking a polite society. I wouldn't fucking rob someone's house in America. If I was between robbing someone's house in America or over here, I'd choose over here. Because I know if I try and rob a house in America, I'm going to get shot. So
Where was it that the old man, like some dude, some kids, like robbed an elderly couple, and turns out the guy used to be like a heavyweight boxer. He beat the shit out of the kid, and he got charged with the crime.
It's still in Britain somewhere. Sounds like that's kind of thing that happened over here.
So that's a load of shit. You beat the shit out of intruders, and all of a sudden he assaulted us. Like, yeah, you broke into my house, motherfucker.
There was a game where you killed whores with a purple dildo. I need to get a bow and arrow gun and a crossbow. It's
And
no more than a fetish quoting sports statistics. I use toilet water as a weapon on my bro nasty. Was it water that was just the normal water, or was it water that you pissed and shit in first? That's what I want to know.
no, you gotta leave it fermenting for a little bit and then use it.
Like, is it water that she pissed and shit in first and just like grabbed the cock and threw it over her brother, or is it just normal toilet water that part of it is probably that we have one of the largest and most diverse populations in the world. We also have a lot of untreated, undiagnosed mental illness in this nation. There are a lot of factors. Exactly, but you just blame the guns because it's easier. You just want your guns, don't you? You don't care about anything else. No, he never said that. You're just misinterpreting everything he said to suit yourself, basically. And he says, like, about mental illness and stuff. What the fuck is illness? This guy's a retard. Ugh. I'll never voluntarily give up my right to defend myself, and criminals will never follow the law. And when it went on for days, you start to notice things. There's the guns plating. The word fetish for technical terms of weaponry, often citing specific types of guns and their features. Well, yeah, because you named the incorrect gun. That's why you did that. The implication being that if you don't understand guns intimately, then you're not qualified to discuss their control. And Mandy wants someone to come scratch his back. Well, Mr. Peter's got to be available somewhere. You can just ask Peter. And it's the constant access to grass.
Last time I had to scratch my back, I just used the machete that's next to me.
From mad and obscure publications that make it possible for him to argue the UK has more violent crime than the US. I'm pretty sure it's physically it probably does, actually. There isn't only a madman that becomes arguable with enough for scientific balance. And I started to notice other things too. The fact that Proud American was arguing about six other people on my Twitter feed. Having dozens of replies, he seemed inexhaustible. Always ready to refer you to some new study, graph or chart, which you probably ignore. He was also arguing a lot, very odd times for the day for someone in America. He's also arguing a lot for very odd times of the day for someone living in America, always ready to make up an argument whatever time of day. It's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, maybe he starts work early, maybe he finishes work late, maybe he works during the night. You don't fucking know his life, do you? That's just a fucking personal attack, isn't it?
My mom gets up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I think she has to be to work by 4.
So I'm saying maybe he starts work really early, maybe he finishes work really late, maybe he... Yeah, no, Monday, I'll not be doing that. You know, maybe he just has weird work hours.
All right. My house is in the middle of the woods. I am surrounded by almost 20 square miles of woods before any clearing. That being said, there are wild hogs around where I live. There are bear around where I live. There have been bobcats around where I live. And for some fucking reason, coyotes are showing up in Virginia. The problem is, take a guy like myself, okay, maybe I might be able to fight it off with a stick, but my wife can't. So I'm only home 1 day a week. Who the hell's going to be there to fight off these animals if I'm not there? And then on top of that, I ain't fighting shit off with a stick if I've got a gun.
Yeah. I finally realized Proud American wasn't a mannequin. He wasn't living in Texas. How do you know that? I said maybe he just works weird work hours. He was most likely part of a team clocking on and off for their shifts in a large building in Moscow or St. Petersburg.
Really?
Yep.
Yet whenever someone calls them an NPC, they're like, "How dare you dehumanize me, you Russian bot?"
Yes, Reader, I've been suckered into arguing with a Russian disinformation tool. Russia. That's where the fucking left wants war with Russia.
Freaking Russia seems to do a lot, according to the left. I don't think Russia is as powerful as these people think that they are.
Yeah, the only people who seem to agree with the arguments of Proud American brackets, and the lawmakers of Texas. In the wake of the shootings, are still going ahead with plans to not to limit but to expand access to guns. Republican Governor Greg Abbott, much loved by National Rifle Association, has signed new laws that ease restrictions on where firearms can be carried, allowing guns into schools, churches, foster homes, while barring cities from passing their own limits on gun and ammunition sales. Only in America, as they used to say, or possibly Russia. Really, so you lost the argument, so you just go straight to fucking Russia. Russia. I mean, lost Cuba. Lost the Cuba, and is Blind Guardian still here?
I do not know.
Blind Guardian still here?
I'm still here. I'm just playing with the cat.
Tell you what, they want to raise the age of owning a rifle to 21. Fine. The age of drinking alcohol is 21. Okay. You best raise that age of military service to 21. And any hopes they had of lowering the voting age to 16 is now out the window.
Well,
Because
I want to
it's
know.
the
Why
problem
does it
is
have to be
you
a
are either mature.
for everything.
The problem is you're either mature enough to do all of it or none of it. Period.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Why is it an all or nothing? Like, why isn't it like age of consent for sex is like 16 or 18, but then to vote, it's like 16 or 18, but then to go die for your country, it's 21. To inhale toxic cigarettes, it's 21, but vapes, maybe you can lower that age a little. Like gambling, probably 18. Like,
Vapes are
why?
20. Vapes
Why
are
is it
21 in the
like-
U.S. Gambling's 21 in the U.S.
Yeah, but I mean,
Actually,
why does it have
vapes
If
are
you blanket all at 18, that would make life easier, wouldn't it?
No, why do you have to blanket everything? Why can't you have different ages for different things depending on what is age appropriate? Like, why does it have to be a blanket standard?
Because I think it's stupid
Because
that in
if you're
America.
because if you're not considered mature enough to be able to handle a gun on your own and be responsible with it, how the hell can you expect it to be mature enough to elect the leader of the free fucking world?
Or fight for your own country as well.
Yeah, but even back when America was first founded, they never equated the two. Like, using a gun was like whenever you're able to stand up, but voting was still like 21. So
No, there was
Or
no
was
age. There was no age of voting when the U.S. was
Okay.
founded. It was if you're a citizen and a landowner. That's it.
Okay. So even back by that standards, even if you weren't mature enough to fucking tie your shoes, they still wanted you to know how to be responsible with a gun so you didn't shoot people with it if you got a hold of daddy's gun when you were 5. Like, even in elementary schools, they had kids shooting classes, and that was part of phys ed.
Even then, a responsible parent with guns shouldn't just leave guns lying around. That's an irresponsible gun owner.
No, but I mean, you don't have to leave it lying around for your kids to figure out how to get to it, because some of them are like, you know what? Daddy keeps this locked in a cabinet, but guess what? While he was sleeping, I took his key. Like, you have kids like that, okay? They're crazy like that. So, like, I
That's
just
why guns make sure the
You
safety
teach
box.
them why not to mess with it, so they don't have the curiosity.
So I don't if you can be taught to understand and be responsible with a gun, I don't understand why the age has to be consistent around the board. Like, why don't we think about these a little and move the age depending on what you're asking for?
Again, I think it's stupid where you can fight in the military at 18, but you want guns to be 21. Like, in the military,
Exactly.
you're going to be handling a gun, so
But then I also think the responsibility of voting versus gun shooting versus tobacco products versus alcohol versus just gambling versus purchasing fireworks. Like, I know that everybody wants to say the age of maturity or the age of majority, but at the same time, like, a 12-year-old could technically be trained to use a gun and not shoot their foot off.
Yes.
Yes.
But I wouldn't expect a 12-year-old to be able to consent to sex, nor would I expect them to be able to drink because their brain hasn't fully developed yet. So, like,
the brain doesn't fully develop till the age of 25.
No, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. They're using the exact same argument to justify lowering a voting age to 16 as they are to raise the age of gun ownership, because they will sit and say, well, children are mature enough to vote at 16. But then they're going to sit and turn around afterwards and say, well, they're not mature enough to own a gun.
Yeah, see, that's retarded.
No,
That-
there's the problem. They're using the exact same argument. You know, they're just using the opposite sides of the exact argument. One, consistency.
Is that why you need
You
a
have to be
general
consistent.
consensus and you can't nuance it? Like, I guess that answers my
There's
question.
the problem.
Why you nuance ages, and that would be because if you don't have a standard, then people fuck with that standard.
Well, say I just
Right.
I
Okay.
think it's easier. I think it's easier just to say like just blanket all like 18. 18, you're legally an adult in most places. So
Yeah, but you may be legally an adult at 18, but I like the 21 thing better because I've met a lot of 18-year-olds and they're not adults. They're just
I've
not.
met a lot of 40 and 50-year-olds who are not a. I mean,
Yeah, okay, same.
yeah,
True.
age doesn't necessarily define maturity.
No, but at 18, I like the age being at 21 for a lot of things. Gun ownership, I'm a little more relaxed on just because I've learned that, like, I used to be like, oh my God, kids should not be able to touch guns until they're like 18. And now I'm kind of on the side for if you understand and respect a gun, you won't shoot your dad in the face playing with it. You know?
For me, I think parents like teaching their kids how to use a gun at a young age isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. But like, and out of all the 18-year-olds that I've met, I don't get that mature vibe at all.
No, but then sometimes you don't get that mature vibe from being 23. So
Yeah,
But
I mean,
still,
I was about to point out that I've heard Blind Girl act pretty childish too. So
well, there's acting
And then-
childish, and then there's mature decision making.
and then there's still the the overwhelming thing as far as firearms in America. Firearms in America specifically mentioned by the Constitution. And the problem is so many people think it's a matter of the Constitution says you're allowed to. And
No, because you can't.
that's not the
take it
case.
away.
Right. The thing with the Constitution is it says the government cannot. So here's the problem. Here's the problem of all these arguments everybody keeps saying as far as owning a gun. It doesn't matter what reason you give. It doesn't matter what nuance there is. It doesn't matter. None of that really matters. The thing is, the government does not have the right to say, no, you can't.
the government
That's actually-
is the government
that's a-
is not the entity that gives you the right. It's God-given rights.
Well,
The
it's
government
creator.
can't trample
It's
on.
creator-given rights.
natural rights.
Right. It's that whole inalienable rights, which means they cannot be taken away. The problem is every gun law that's on the book right now, every gun law on the book right now is unconstitutional according to the Constitution. And as far as yeah, I'm turning into a broken record on this.
Anyway,
And I love it every time you say it. Such a
Yeah.
killer.
anyway, we've come to the end of the stream, so it's chilling time.
One second, let me open
Who's
that.
first? Ladies and gentlemen, Pumpkin Drucker, Springfield, Pennsylvania, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Watch.
Green Thunder.
Live stream every Wednesday, at least. It's going to be a couple days before I get back to Fallout.
And then about 25 minutes, you'll be blind jockeying, isn't there?
Yup.
Yeah.
Anyway, make sure to sub to her because she's almost at 200 subs. So,
Yeah, I'm like 3 away from that now.
yeah. Thanks for watching. Sorry I've been away for the last few days. I'll have the will. You're all a bunch of cunts. Goodbye.
Get the fuck out of here.